Hey guys, welcome to my channel if you're new here, or welcome back if you've seen this face before. And today's video is going to be a video I actually wanted to be out for Valentine's Day, but I've been so busy with school that I really haven't even had the time until now on spring break to film it. I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember at all what these people are saying in these videos, so let's just hop into it and see what they say together.
I cannot make this up. Imagine first date with a man. You hit it off. Great energy. Date runs long. And you have a graduation party to get to. So I'm like, you know what? Okay, you want to come with me to my homegirl's graduation party? He's like, okay, yeah, sure. But I don't want to show up empty-handed, so we stop at the Target. Another green flag, because we've been hitting it off. Okay, great. We stop at Target. He gets her a card. We go to the graduation party. I introduce him to my friend. Cool. We go to my car. We're getting into my car. He's saying like, oh yeah, can you drop me off at the mall? Da 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 da, like whatever. Fine, because he allegedly Ubered an hour to get to me because he lives far out, not in the city. This man gets in my car. All of a sudden, a woman comes up out of the blue. I don't know where this woman was. She comes up and she yanks open my passenger side door. She's like, what the F are you doing? Get up. Come with me right now. Come with me right now. Get up. Get up. You're coming with me. At first, I thought she was joking. And at first, I thought it was like she saw him from afar, thought he was fine. Came into the car, was like, you're coming with me. You're coming with me. Because he was just like, chill, chill, chill. So I was like, oh, okay, that's cute. Like, he's fine. Okay, period, sis. But, like, not too much. But then she gets rowdy. She's like, get out the car. Get out the car. And yanks this full-grown size man and yanks him out the car. So I'm like, oh, y'all know each other. Takes him out the car. Bella, my car, is here. Her car is here. I'm T-boned in. I cannot move. There's a car in front of me. So all I can do is sit and look in my rear view at her beating. Just beating his ass. Just beating his ass. And I'm like, I turn my music down so I can hear what's being said. I can't hear nothing, but just going. And I'm like, what the heck? I didn't have the word. Like, I know the words that happen so fast, and I cannot move. So I'm sitting here, waiting for her to finish his beating. Finally, they start to back up. They pull up beside me. I'm looking like this. And he goes, and they drive off. And I just didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Because clearly that's your girl. We talked about cheating. We talked about red flags. We talked about green flags. He had passed a lot of, like, he had a good head on his shoulders, I thought. We talked about cheating in 30 minutes. We talked about emotional versus physical cheating. And she picked him up and yanked him out of the passenger side. And they drove off. And then he texted me, what are you doing? What am I doing? I'm coping. I'm done with men. Especially light skins. I can't.
Oh my god, that video was actually mad funny. That is a wild first date for sure. I would block that man because hell no, that ain't nothing but trouble. He literally got his ass whooped already and is still coming back. No, block him.
Okay, so we go out on this date and we're talking about love languages, and I'm saying mine is acts of service and gift giving. That's how I show love. And he said that that's very narcissistic because that means that I do things to get people's attention or whatever. And I was like, I don't know how that makes any sense, but okay. And then a couple times throughout the night, he kept saying, you're so lucky to be out with a guy like me. Like, I'm so attractive, I'm so good looking, and you're so average. Yeah, okay, that's just gonna make me like super excited to be out with you. But anyways, that wasn't even the worst part of it. anyways, throughout the night, he was just being like super like overbearing and like kept trying to like hold my hand or touch me in some way, shape, or form. And I was like, don't touch me. Like, I just met you. I'm not about it. Don't do that. Then he's telling me that that he read this book called 48 Laws of Power, and it basically teaches you how to manipulate people, which is not the concept of the book, but that buying people gifts makes them feel indebted to you, so you use that as a form of manipulation. And I was like, what are you talking about? Sorry, the parking people were going around. So I was like, what are you talking about? So is that why you bought me roses? Anyways, that was another thing. But the icing on the cake, we finished dinner, we're walking around, we're walking down the street. He goes to like grab my hand, and then he touches my belly, and he goes, can you imagine this? We're married and you're carrying our child. Bends down and kisses my stomach in the middle of the street in broad daylight with people walking around. What? Like, ew. Like, what compels men to think that that's gonna make the woman want you? Oh my God, I'm so triggered. Like, I'm so grossed out. I can't. Worst date ever. If that's how you think that women want you, you're never gonna find someone. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna throw that out there. So I left, I went home, I blocked and deleted this man on everything. And if he sees this video, I don't even give a shit. Don't treat women like that. That is just super creepy and super overbearing. And like, who, you kissed my belly with our imaginary child in it? Are you kidding me right now? Ugh. That's me right now. Gross. Anyways, so yeah, I'm gonna continue to be 32 and single and living my best life, because no man is going to creep me out like that, touch me, and then, I don't know, touch our unborn fake child that's in my stomach. I can't. I can't.
I'm over here laughing, but honestly, if I went on a date and a dude kept trying to touch me and then out in public kiss my stomach, honestly, I would be super freaked out. I'd be like, bro, I want to go home. Like, hell no.
I heard we're doing Hinge date horror stories. Since the app's getting deleted anyway, I figure I might as well tell my business. You know what I'm saying? No one's gonna know. The worst date I have ever been on in my fucking life. Let's go back, shall we? The year is 2021. I'm graduating. I'm a senior in college. Meet a guy online. He didn't go to my school, but he went to a school that was close to my school. Okay, so I felt safe. I'm like, okay, fellow college kid, not serial killer, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, he was older than me as well. I think he was in his master's program. I'm graduating my senior year. On the app, a little bit, cool vibes. Switch over to iMessage, cool vibes. We FaceTime a couple times, so I got a good feel for who he is, how he talks, what he's about. So eventually we schedule a day that we can go out on a date. I'm in school, I don't have a car. He has a car. So first mistake, he came to my school and picked me up, but I made sure I got picked up away from the dorm area just in case. I am smart, I'm dumb, but I'm smart, okay? So I went by the educational side of where my campus is and got picked up there. Mind you, he didn't give me any details about the day. He's like, oh, I'm gonna take you out, we're gonna have a good time and vibe, blah, blah, blah. I get in the car. This man is elbows deep into his Chinese food that he ordered, okay? He already had Chinese food. He was halfway in it as he's driving, eating his Chinese food. Okay, I was like, oh, were you hungry? He's like, yeah, no, my fault. Did you want something? You want some? I was like, no, I think I'm okay. Are we gonna go eat later? He's like, yeah, we're gonna eat. Let me just finish this real quick and we out. All right, okay. He's driving. Chinese food in his lap. Fork in mouth, driving. We pull up into this assisted living complex into a parking lot, and he begins to roll up. He knew I didn't smoke. So I'm like, oh, you're rolling up? He's like, yeah, I like to roll up before I eat. He just ate, he just had Chinese food. The Chinese food was an appetizer, and now he needs to roll up to smoke. It wasn't hot outside, I remember that. So he hot boxes me in the car. He's smoking, windows up, getting high, off of his high, because the whole car is full of gas. I'm boofing. He's like, oh yeah, this probably wasn't a good idea.
the restaurant I picked isn't probably gonna fuck with us because now we smell like weed. So I'm like, okay, let's just go somewhere else. He was like, actually, you know what would really hit right now? A McFlurry. So guess where we went? McDonald's. Okay? Drive-through, because we don't want to go inside booth. We get to the drive-through. It's a nice-looking kid, young kid at the window. We pull up, and he's like, hey, can I get 2 Oreo McFlurries? And then he looks over to me, he's like, you know what? These are mad sweet, so we should get a water with that. And he's like, and 2 waters. Oh, you want the cup or a bottle? And he was like, bottle. And then he said the total. He's like, that'll be blah, 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 blah. He looks over at me, he's like, damn. Since when did McDonald's get so expensive? He looks over at the guy, he's like, for 2 waters and 2 McFlurries is that much? He started arguing with the guy, saying, oh, last week I came here, it was this price, and now you're trying to tell me it's this. I was like, oh, I was embarrassed. I was looking for him, I'm sorry. He looks over and he's like, do you really need water? You can share if anything. I said, yeah, I don't need the water. Actually, I did need the water because my throat is getting dry. My mouth is high, okay? But it's fine. I don't want any conflict. I don't need the water back, okay? 2 McFlurries, 1 water. He ends up drinking the whole thing, by the way. I didn't get a sip. It's fine. I don't want to drink after you. You're scary. For me to see him go from a 0 to a 10 on this poor little kid at the cash register really got me scared. We finished our McFlurries. I'm thinking the night's over. I'm like, yeah, this was fun. I need to go back. I'm just pooped. And he's like, oh, really? You want to go back right now? I'm like, yeah, can you take me back to my dorm? I have the maps on my phone, making sure he drives me back to campus. I need to make sure he's not making any left turns. I'm scared. You're scaring me. So we're driving. We passed my dorm. And he says, I kind of don't want this night to end. Stay tuned for part 2. Okay, y'all, part 2. Y'all only had to wait a day, so don't come for me. Before I begin this part, I wanted to address something. All throughout college, I didn't talk to any guys. High school, no one was checking for me for real, so I didn't know any better. I don't use that as an excuse because I was like 21 at that time, so I should have known based off of experiences like I see on TV and my friends, so I should have known better, but at the same time, I didn't. My first real date was that same year, but with a real nice gentleman, so I kind of knew after that how it's supposed to go. I mean, the ropes, and since then, I had never settled for less. Actually, I did, but we're not gonna talk about it. If you guys want to see me selling for less, check my 2024 dating wrapped, but we're not talking about that right now. Secondly, I was smacked, guys. I wasn't thinking this story time though is gonna contain receipts because I actually found myself sending my friends a video of what happened that day. So stay tuned to the end so you can see how I looked and how I was explaining the story then. I had the address on my maps because it was getting dark at that point and I have no sense of direction. So I just wanted to make sure we were getting back to my spot, safe and sound, no left turns, no nothing. He drives past my door. I'm noticing, I'm like, maybe I'm bugging. Maybe I'm high. Like, he's taking me to the dorm. He looks at me, he's like, oh, I don't want this night to end. Keeps driving. He's like, I actually gotta use the bathroom. I'm not saying nothing. I'm thinking maybe he's gonna use the bathroom after he drops me off. I'm like, maybe there's a turn I don't know about. I don't know. Maybe my maps is bugging. I'm hallucinating. I'm high. Driving. He's like, maybe I should go to my apartment. Actually, maybe not. It's too early for you to see my apartment. I know a place I can go. I kid you not. You can watch my video for the receipts at the end to verify. I kid you not. This man pulls up to this construction site kind of thing. Peep, the setting is dark. It's cold outside. And you mean to, I'm high. I'm like losing my mind. And you mean to tell me this man drives into this kind of looks like an abandoned warehouse kind of thing, like an abandoned construction site. Like you could see people are working here, but it's dark. There's nobody there now. I'm seeing concrete slabs. I'm seeing walls. I'm seeing woods. I'm seeing trees. I said, take me home now. I was done being cute and dainty and yeah, no, it's fine. Like whatever, we can do it another time. I was done with that. I started spazzing. I was like, take me home. It's scary here. I was losing it. He was like, what, you good? I'm like, no, I'm not good. I'm paranoid as fuck. I think you're gonna kill me. I'm scared. You're scaring me. Take me home. He's like, oh nah, Shawty, you paranoid as shit. Nah, it's not gonna work. I'm like, good. Take me home. I looked so cute early in the day. I didn't have lashes on, but I had like my hair done. The way I was like this, my hair looks crazy now. You'll see. My hair looks insane. This was me during the day, and this was me when I got back home, okay? So by the love of God, he took me home at the academic side on campus, and I had to walk my ass like 10 minutes to get back to my dorm. High as hell. Middle of the night, I'm thinking things are coming for me. I'm getting paranoid. I'm thinking I'm being watched. I'm thinking there's a tracker on my pants. It's fine, whatever. I get to my dorm and I make this video. Bro, I just got back from the guy. I made him drive me back to campus because I was getting scared. I just feel like somebody's watching me right now. After everything's said and done, I start to feel bad, actually. Looking back now, I don't, but at the time, I did feel bad. So I reached out to him again. He knew someone that sold this product. I don't want to disclose what it is, because I think it'll give it away, but he knows someone that sells these things. So I'm like, let me just make conversation and ask him about it. So this is like maybe a week later. I reached out to him and I was like, hey, I was interested in this. Can you tell me a little bit more about that? How much it costs, blah, blah, blah. And he told me about it. I was like, yeah, I might be interested. I just want to know how much it costs because I can always get it here or I can go back home and get it there. And he told me the price. And I was like, oh, okay, that's good to know. Thanks for letting me know. I think I'm just gonna get it in New York anyway, so don't worry about it. The man goes bonkers. The man starts cursing me out through text messages. I have the receipts as well. I'll be posting them as well. Exhibit A, Exhibit B.
Larry came round just to put him down. SpongeBob turned into a clown, and no girl ever wants to dance.
The man was offended because he went out of his way to get the product and he was gonna come drop it off. Where did I say I needed that? Where did I say I want it that bad? Where did I agree for you to come back to see me? I just want to know the price. Never had a man tell me to unalive myself ever in my life. He is blocked. Yeah, that's my story.
The way she got freaked out thinking that he was gonna hurt her is honestly me as fuck. Like, it only takes like one or two things to put me on the edge of my seat and being like, what you doing? Like, no. And yeah, as soon as he pulled up to the construction site, yeah, I probably would have freaked the hell out too, but I probably would have actually gotten out the car and like booked it because I don't play that shit. Like, that's overall like a horrible experience and definitely dumb for her to hit him back up because like why would you even do that? But his reaction was absolutely crazy. So she dodged a bullet with that one. Safe to say.
Let's do a story time on a terrible first date. And this one had my mom rolling on the floor laughing, so hopefully you guys can find humor in my terrible luck and choices in men. So I meet this guy on Bumble, we start talking, we talk for like 2 weeks. He has one red flag, just one that I can find. He's a cop. But anybody that knows me knows who am I to judge cops, right? So I give this guy a chance. Mistake number one. We set up a date for a hike at a reservation. And because it's a reservation, it's a body of water, one way around it, 5 miles. So if you get to 2.5 miles, you might as well keep going because there is no shortcut, there is no easy way out. You are committed. So we get there, conversation is okay, nothing good, nothing bad, kind of not sure. We get to the halfway point, we sit at a bench, we start talking. Normal. He goes, hey, I need to ask how you feel about something. Okay, sir, that's what dates are for, ask away. He goes, how do you feel about breastfeeding? What? My favorite color is blue. So I'm like, haven't thought about it. That's a bridge I'll cross when and if I need to, but it hasn't been something I've been researching at 35, single as fuck. So I don't know. He goes, well, listen, I'm gonna expect you to breastfeed our kids until they're 2. And since you're gonna be breastfeeding them, I'm going to expect to be breastfed. The fuck you will. The fuck you will. No, sir. No. I'm done. We're not doing this. Let's keep walking, okay? I'm done. We're good. So I'm like, yeah, let's go. And I'm like, I have 2.5 miles stuck with this man right now, right? I can't escape this. So I'm walking fast.
I'm doing a quick pace here. We get to like a mile out. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get out of this alive. I'm not gonna have to kill this man in the woods. We are good. And he goes, there's something else I need to talk to you about. What do you got, buddy? What else is there? What could possibly be worse than me breastfeeding you? And he goes, I have this thing about possessiveness with women that I'm with. And I'm like, well, don't gotta worry about that with me, because I'm not your possession, and you're not with me, and you have no shot in hell at this point. So he tells me, I need to pee on you to mark my territory. No, sir. I literally, dead in my tracks, is like, you're gonna stay right where you're standing, or I'm gonna shoot you. So I'm gonna keep walking, lose my number, I'm gonna have you blocked in 30 seconds. You've lost your fucking mind. So moral of the story, this is why we don't date cops.
I have no words. Like, I literally just have no words. This is another situation that I would also be scared in. So by the sounds of it, she had a strap on her. So that's smart. Yeah, that's really smart. Yeah, that's a horrible experience, but such a funny story. Bless her heart. So I have one video left, and this video is basically 10 minutes long. So we'll give it a shot.
Get ready with me while I tell you about the worst date that I have ever been on in my life. This was about 2 years ago. I met this guy on a Saturday night. He was at one of my guy friends' tables that I was also at. We were talking and hanging out all night. At the end of the night, when we all were getting ready to go home, he asked me to go on a date the following day, which would have been a Sunday night. I agreed to it, and he said that he would pick me up around 7:30 and that he would make a reservation at somewhere nice. And to be honest with you, I don't usually let guys pick me up on the first date, but I figured that it would be fine because he was at a table with a lot of my friends and seemed like he knew a lot of the same people that I knew. That was my first mistake. So I start getting ready, and he said we were going somewhere nice, so I'm not even kidding. I put on the nicest black jumpsuit and my Louboutin heels. So at this point, it's like 7:15, and he asked for my address. Also forgot to mention that he texted me earlier in the day saying the reservation is confirmed for 8 o'clock. So it's like 7:45 at this point, and he's still not at my house. And it's not even like he's saying, I'm so sorry, this came up, that came up. He's literally just saying, I'm coming, I'll be there soon. It's being very just bizarre. Like, I'm ready to go. I'm sitting on my couch waiting for him. And at this point, it's after 8:30. So not only is he now an hour late picking me up, but we're already 30 minutes over our confirmed reservation. I just checked my receipts, and at literally 9:32 p.m. is when he texted me, I'm 3 minutes away. 9:32 p.m. on a Sunday. I am starving, I'm hangry, I'm annoyed, but I go outside and I see him coming down my street, and he's driving an old BMW, and the entire front of the car, like the bumper, was completely smashed in. And listen, I'm not saying that he got into an accident on his way to get me or anything. This could have happened weeks before. I didn't ask any questions, but I don't know, that should have been a red flag, and you'll realize why in a little. So on the way to the restaurant, he's driving just like super slow, like abnormally slow, and he's like sitting like really high up, and he's just like really focused on the road and just driving like a grandparent. And he's also like taking this really weird route. There's one main way to get to the strip of restaurants that we were going to. Mind you, I still didn't know what restaurant we were going to at this point. He never told me, but I just knew that we were going to Las Olas in Fort Lauderdale, which is like a strip of bars and restaurants. But he just took like this really strange back route that I had never been on before. And honestly, it was like he was getting distracted and lost and like had no idea where the fuck he was. And I did ask him if he knew where he was going, and he just kept saying, oh, it's a shortcut. I take this way all the time. He's telling me how hungry he is, how we're gonna order a bunch of appetizers, and he loves ordering the whole menu and trying different things. So I'm getting like really excited because I love dinners like that, when like, you know, you just eat good, try different things on the menu, and just like have a time. So at this point, it's almost 10 p.m. on a Sunday, and Las Olas is pretty dead. Obviously, we're like an hour and a half past our reservation, if there ever was one. And at this point, we were just like, okay, we're gonna go wherever is open. So we ended up going to some hole-in-the-wall restaurant that's like really well known, but it's like a bar. I'm even more annoyed because here I am in my really dressy outfit and my Louboutin heels, and we're going to just some random little bar restaurant. We sit down at a table and we're looking at the menu, and he's like, honestly, I'm not that hungry, I might just get the mac and cheese. And I'm like, what happened to ordering a bunch of appetizers? I thought you were starving. And he's like, I don't know, we can start with this. You can get other things, but I'm just gonna start with the mac and cheese and see how I feel. I'm like, okay, so I order some random chicken dish with broccoli. So about 2 minutes after the server takes our order, these two sketchy guys walk in and walk past our table, and we're just gonna call my date John. They're like, hey, John, what's up? Haven't seen you in years. It's been so long. How are you doing? So they're like catching up for a couple minutes, and then the two guys go towards the back of the restaurant. I don't know if they went to the bathroom or if they went out a back door, but they disappeared. And then 2 minutes later, John is like, I'll be right back. I'm gonna use the bathroom before the food gets here. So I'm like, okay. So I'm just sitting there waiting. 5 minutes go by, still waiting. 10 minutes go by, still waiting. And after 10 minutes, I start getting a little concerned. And I'm thinking, did he just go out the back door and like ditch me? Did he leave? Like, I've never had that happen on a date, but that was always like a huge fear of mine. After 10 minutes, the server comes over and he's like, everything okay? How are you doing? Can I get you anything? I'm like texting my mom, I'm texting my friends saying, oh my God, I think he left. After almost 15 minutes, I text him, did you fall in? No reply. Then the server comes and brings our food out. And I'm like, do I start eating? Do I wait? I have no idea what to do. So I tried calling him to tell him that the food was here. He answered and he was like, I'm so sorry. I'm on the phone, but I'll be right out. I'm trying to be polite and I don't touch my food. I'm sitting there waiting. The server comes over and the server's like concerned. He's like, what's going on? Did he leave? And I go, honestly, I don't know what's going on. Another 10 minutes go by, and at this point, I'm just really, really irritated. I texted him, I'm leaving. So finally, he comes out of the bathroom, sits down, and I immediately can tell that something is just not right with him. I start eating my food, we're talking, and then all of a sudden, I look over at him, and he starts nodding out into his plate of food. He's literally just like head down, eyes shut, in his plate of food. So I nudge him and I'm like, are you good? And he gets so defensive and he's like, what are you talking about? What do you mean, am I good? And I said, you were just sleeping in your food. No, I wasn't. I wasn't sleeping, like getting so mad. And then he starts getting like aggressive and like really arguing with me. I wasn't fucking sleeping. Like, I don't even know you and you're gonna be screaming at me in a restaurant. So I'm just thinking like how I am going to get up and get out of here, because I'm not letting him drive me home. He's obviously on drugs. There's no way that I'm gonna get back in his car. So I asked him what he was doing in the bathroom, and then he goes, oh, those guys that came over to the table and like said hi, they were in there, so we were just talking. And I'm like, you told me that you were on the phone. So now there's two different stories. Clearly there was some kind of a drug deal going on, or they were doing drugs in the bathroom. I have no idea. And I'm not even kidding, like he barely touched his food. He took maybe 2 bites of his mac and cheese. He keeps nodding out. He's not eating his food. So I'm just really, really pissed at this point and I want to go home. So I say to him, do you think you could hurry up? Because I really want to go home. And he got so mad at me and so defensive and so aggressive. I'm just thinking about getting up and just leaving. A million things were just going through my head and I was trying to plot the perfect escape. I was just thinking that if I would have gotten up from the table, he would have chased after me. So I wanted to wait until we paid the tab and got up and left. He finally pays the check and then we get up and we're walking to the car and I'm like, I think I'm gonna call an Uber. He's like, why? Getting all like butthurt and defensive. And I said, because to be honest with you, I don't think that you're good to drive. And he's like, what are you talking about? I'm sober, I can drive. And I'm just getting like really irritated. While we're walking in the car, He's like arguing with me back and forth, like, you're not getting an Uber, I'm gonna drive you home, I promise I'm fine, everything's fine. My light was dying, so I just blew out my hair while it was charging. But basically, on the way back to the car, he goes down this alley saying that it was a shortcut to get back to the car, and at that point, I took off running. And mind you, this is down Las Olas. It's not like we were in the middle of nowhere or in like a random parking lot. It was a, you know, busy, well-known strip of restaurants and bars. But still, I took off running. I think it took him a little bit to realize that I wasn't behind him anymore. Once he realized, he started blowing up my phone, wondering where I went, kept texting me, calling me. I blocked his number, went to this crowded, well-known bar where there was a million people, and I called myself an Uber, and I took an Uber to my parents' house, and I slept at my parents' house that night. But yeah, my parents live right down the street from me, and I don't know, I was panicking that he would like show up at my house. I don't know, a million things were going through my head, and I was just really in the worst mood after that date. Like I said, that was over 2 years ago. I learned a lot of lessons that night, and to this day, that was the worst date that I've ever had in my life, and I hope it doesn't get worse than that. This is the finished look. I still have to go change style.
Honestly, everything about that does point to he was on something, so I wonder what it was. And number two, very valid to run away. I don't care. In my head, that's valid, because that was a very scary situation to be in. Okay, so that's all the TikTok videos that I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in my next reaction video. Bye, guys.